Full-time match review from Bramall Lane. You're watching Toon Army TV. It's finished. Sheffield United 1, Newcastle United 0. First of all, well done to Sheffield United. You deserve to win the game this evening. Take nothing away from your performance. You showed absolute balls of steel to get your first win of the season, and I wish you as well for what is the remainder of your season, whether you stay up or not. But Steve Bruce, your staff, there's the door. Piss off. You're not good enough. Get out of our football club right now. You're finished as far as I'm concerned. I'm sick of all the excuses. I'm sick of the dinosaur tactics. 5-4-1 against Sheffield United. Sheffield United have not won a game all season. Yes, they won in the FA Cup and there was a bit of confidence going into the game. But they've got 2 points all season. And they're one of the worst sides in this league. And they're guaranteed to go down come the end of the season. But with that now, we've now become the first team to get beat off Sheffield United. It could be Derby County all over again from the 07-08 season. And we've been well and truly turned over. We've been embarrassed tonight. We've shown nothing out there in terms of causing Sheffield United any kind of threat. That is the worst game of the season to date. This was Steve Bruce's biggest game as Newcastle United manager, and I tell you what, he's well and truly blown it tonight. And I tell you, the game was won when Steve Bruce went 5-4-1. Wing-back system that does not fucking work. It does not work, and I'm swearing because we've lost against Sheffield United. But not only that, you look at the form going into the game and why this game was so big. Well, we haven't won in 7. Make that 8. And you wonder where the next win is coming from, because I tell you what it is, we do not look like stringing 2 passes together, never mind winning a game. And out there, that was an absolute comedy show from us tonight. And Sheffield United, listen, they've made us look like Sheffield United bottom of the Premier League on 2 points, because you wouldn't have known the difference out there. You wouldn't have known that Newcastle were on 19 points going into the game and, clear of Fulham. But I tell you what it is now, this defeat, it's only going to make things worse when Fulham, who have got 2 games in hand, eventually they're going to win a couple of games and we're going to get caught. We can't always rely on Callum Wilson. I mean, for one, his starting selection was absolutely baffling, to say the least. I mean, 5-4-1 was bad enough. But Hendrick, sideways, backwards, not good enough. What does he bring to the side? Nothing. Sean Longstaff, what's he done to be starting games? Sideways, backwards, nothing. There's players tonight that didn't even get a start off from the first minute. Matt Ritchie, for example. Matty Longstaff. Where are they? Why are they not starting? Why are we not being expansive and going for these sort of sides like Sheffield United, who are there for the taking? And it made matters worse when Ryan Fraser, who for me should never even have started the game, I didn't even think he was good enough or fit enough to make the bench. He got the 2 yellow cards in that first half, and we went out to 10 men. It was always going to be, a long road back in the second half, and I think we were lucky to even be 0-0 at half time. And I tell you what it is, you're looking at that game and you're thinking, where on earth have we dictated, where have we dominated possession? Because we've done nothing for the full 90-odd minutes. And I've been yawning throughout the whole game because I was expecting more from this side. I was expecting more of jigging up the lads. I wanted to see the lads get at Sheffield United. They're there for the taking. They've conceded like a ridiculous amount of goals, but this has probably been their easiest game of the season. And like I say, we're lucky not to have lost this game by more than just, that 1-0 scoreline margin. And I feel like Sheffield United, their full value for the 3 points tonight, we were shocking from the get-go. Mike Ashley, Lee Charnley, the rest on the board need to do the right thing in order to save this club from relegation, is get rid of Steve Bruce tonight. I'm sick of now of these excuses of, well, we've tried, we'll roll with sleeves up. We fuck all don't roll with sleeves up. We do nothing in the game. Nothing. It's tiresome to watch. We're boring. We're predictable. And this is the angriest that I've been. Don't get me wrong. Yes, Mike Ashley is the bigger problem. And I've been doing this YouTube for, 3.5 years, and this is the worst I've ever felt. Watching Newcastle United. Yes, there's been darker times. I completely get that. But I could tolerate the football under Rafa Benitez because there was an understanding. There was a structure. Players knew, what to do at every one time. At this moment in time, we're fucking clueless. Honestly, it's get the ball, pass it back to the defence, pass it back to Darlow and punt the ball up and hope for the very best. Let's try and punt the ball up to Callum Wilson to see what he can do. I'm sorry to say it, but he was starved of any type of service, because when you're playing this dinosaur wing-back system, it doesn't work. It really does not work. And I tell you, it's really embarrassing. This is a Newcastle thing to do. Give Sheffield United their first Premier League win of the season, probably their only win of the season, unless this confidence builds them on. But I tell you what it is, you wonder now where our next win's coming from, because I really cannot see our next win coming anywhere. People say, March and whatnot. No, honestly, at this moment in time, there's only one place we're going, and that's down and back to the Championship. Because I tell you what, Mr. Ashley, if you do not invest in this squad for the remainder of this window, we're in deep shit. Deep shit. This is the lowest now that I've been as a Newcastle fan. And because all I'll hear after this game from Steve Bruce is that, Sheffield United got a penalty and that's what won them the game. We down to 10 men. Bollocks! We were awful with 11 men, let alone 10. And it's just, honestly, it's absolute bollocks every single week. Week in, week out, the same old dinosaur tactics. I mean, let's talk about the first half. I mean, this is where we need to get at Sheffield United and try and put them under pressure and show who wants to get the 3 points the most. Sheffield United have big chances with McGoldrick. I mean, for me, you should put them in. Darlow makes, some very good saves as well to deny, Sheffield United, getting in the lead. We always rely on the keeper. For us, we're always, treading water from the very get-go. Ryan Fraser puts in a bad challenge. It's a yellow card. Yes, it is a yellow card. Wilson gets our best chance with a header. For me, should get that on target. But listen, the lad is devoid of any confidence, all down to the service. It's just not there. But in terms of the rest of the game, well, just before half-time, Ryan Fraser puts in another dodgy challenge, another yellow card, equals a red. We're down to 10 men, and as if the first half wasn't bad enough, struggling with 11 men, yet alone 10, it's been made twice as harder. And I was saying to John, who is on YouTube, John Sinclair, said at half-time, the second half is going to be even more difficult now because we're down to 10 men. Steve Bruce is going 5 at the back and I can't see him changing it. If anything, he's going to go dinosaur 6, 7, 8, 9 at the back because Sheffield United will get straight at we. Second half, and that's what it was. Sheffield United in our faces all the time, putting pressure, on our back five, and Darlow had to make a load of saves. And then the moment came for Sheffield United where they were rewarded a penalty. For me, I think it is a 50-50 call. So Fernandez is trying to keep up with Billy Sharp, and Billy Sharp goes down. The referee, he looks at it. He has to go to the TV monitor and he gives it. I mean, for me, yes, if your arms are frailing, then you are running the risk. But for me, I've seen them given. I've not seen them given. But given how well Sheffield United have played, I think they deserve that. And they go and take the lead through Billy Sharp, and it's 1-0 Sheffield United. But listen, Steve Bruce can make all these changes like Andy Carroll, like Jacob Murphy, like Matt Ritchie, all too late. I think he got it wrong from the very get-go. And there was a little bit of late pressure, but not enough really to push Sheffield United under any sort of pressure. And Sheffield United have won 1-0, got their first win of the season. Surprise, fucking surprise. Newcastle United, the shit show that we are, the comedy, the embarrassment, whatever you want to say, the comedy circus. We've walked away empty-handed, away from Bramall Lane. Take nothing away, by the way, from Sheffield United. I mean, they'll be surprised that they've come away from there with 3 points tonight. But given their performance, they played well, and we didn't. We were nowhere near the levels of Premier League standard. At this moment in time, with this manager, and I'm not being over the top, we are getting relegated. We are getting relegated. Burnley, Brighton, Fulham, all of the rest, West Brom, whatever, they're going to catch me. It's as simple as that. We are awful to watch right now. And I tell you what it is. If you get rid of Steve Bruce now, with 21 games to go of the season, then anything can happen. We can save our season in terms of a bit of pride, in terms of climbing up the league. This shitty remit of let's just stay in the Premier League. Well, no wonder players are not playing for him, because you play 5 at the back, and players have lost all confidence that, they're there for the paycheck as long as Newcastle stay up. We don't look like staying in this league. That's the problem. We do not look like staying in this Premier League, as far as I'm concerned. And if we go down, we'll not come straight back up. I can tell you that for one. We are not going to get back out of the Championship, because we are right now, we're in a shit moment. It's an absolute shit show at this football club. Shit. That's what it is. And I tell you what, I don't care about the monetisation, I don't care about the language, but I'm a passionate Newcastle fan, and I tell you what it is, the performances are getting worse and worse and worse by the week. They are worse. Steve Bruce needs to go tonight. Tonight. I don't want to hear any more of his shitty excuses anymore in the press conferences. He has to go. Has to go. He really does. Because I tell you what, this lockdown's bad enough, but watching Newcastle every single week is even worse. And these pundits, I don't want to hear it anymore. That Steve Bruce is a good manager. That is this, that and the other. He's not. He doesn't belong in the Premier League. He doesn't. And the only reason why he's Newcastle United manager is because he's Mike Ashley and Lee Charnley's cheap option. And that's only going to get you so far in this division. And I tell you what, we've been well and truly found out. Well and truly found out. And Steve Bruce proclaims, I'm a Geordie, I love Newcastle United. Fuck all do you love Newcastle United, because the biggest game of the season against Sheffield United, you would not play 5 at the back. Now, don't get me wrong, beforehand I was saying, right, okay, I don't agree necessarily with the lineup, but if you're trying to match Chris Wilder, at least then go out and play some football. I say nothing. Sheffield United treated this game like it was a training session, like they weren't even bottom of the league. They treated like a training session. That's how embarrassing we were. That's how slow we were to making challenges, to getting forward. It was all too easy for them. Honestly, all too easy. Watch the game back. Watch the highlights. And the longer you watched it, the worse we got. Honestly, it just got really, really bad, to the point where I even had to leave John's stream because I was so annoyed with how we played tonight. You know, we're asking for one big performance, you know, to give the fans a bit of hope of turning things around. You know, to at least try and get a bit of pressure off Steve Bruce for a couple of days at least. Well, I tell you what it is, that performance tonight tells me, just starting that starting 11 alone, that he wants to sack. I tell you what, he could piss right off, he could leave tonight. Honestly, don't come back. I don't want to see you back anywhere near the training ground anymore. Pay him off. Do it. Pay him off. He's got a year and a half left. Pay the bugger off. He's not good enough. He isn't good enough. Because I tell you what, any decent manager with good pedigree in this league would play a better style of football. I'm not saying that the football has to be attractive all the time, but at least work the goalkeeper. I mean, look at the fucking possession stats. First half, I think they had something like 70-odd% possession. Second half, they had 60-odd. That equaled to about 68, 69, whatever it was, possession. We had 20+% possession against Sheffield United, bottom of the Premier League. Bottom of the Premier League. Yes, we're 15th, but still, with the players that we've got, we should not be turning up to Bramall Lane and playing that poorly. We shouldn't be. There's simply no excuse. I've said it for weeks now, and I've said it for months. Steve Bruce has to go. It's not a comedy, it's not a joke. Has to go now. He really does. Before he loses many more players. He's already lost the dressing room, he's lost the fans. The only guys that are going for Steve Bruce right now are his pals, the comedy show guys that you like to call, you know, the pundits who know nothing about football or only watch Newcastle, you know, maybe it's once a month or, you know, once every 2 months. Because I tell you what, if you watch that every week, you can understand where I'm coming from and why I'm rightly pissed off with what's going on. And, you know, all these fans that are going to come on here and say, oh, you're so ungrateful, you're in the Premier League. Well, we're not ungrateful. We just want a bit of hope. That's what we want. There's no hope with this manager in charge. There isn't. There is no hope. Absolutely none. And there was no need for that, you know, performance tonight. You know, you go a simple 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1. Give yourself a chance of winning the game. Honestly, trust us to be the first club to fail against Sheffield United, man. Sheffield United. I mean, at this moment in time, we couldn't even beat a League One side. And then again, that's been proven in the FA Cup. Rochdale and Blinken Oxford. I'm livid with that tonight. I'm absolutely livid. Just as well now that we haven't got a game until Monday, because I need to calm down, because this is awful. Absolutely diabolical. It is. And do you know what? I was the most positive when it come to like the start of the game. Yeah, give the lads a chance. But listen, deep down when I seen the likes of Hendrick and Fraser starting and Sean Longstaff, 5 at the back, I've got a funny feeling about the game. And you can understand why. Honestly, Steve Bruce has to go tonight. He has to. And I'm not being over the top. You can call us embarrassing, say what you want, but I'm talking as a passionate Newcastle fan. I'm speaking for 99.9% of the fan base. And if anyone is pro Steve Bruce now, your time has to be up now with Steve Bruce. You have to now turn on this manager because he's no good. Steve Bruce needs to do the right thing and resign. Resign tonight. Just say that you're not good enough and that you can't take the club forward. Just take it to Mike Ashley and say, right, well, if you're not going to back us with proper players, then unfortunately, yes, I'm not good enough. He has to put his hands up tonight and say he wasn't good enough. He's not been good enough all season. He's not been good enough since he's been here. This is the thing, right? And people can bring the Rafa thing, whatever, right? Okay, I side with the whole Rafa thing. I am pro Rafa. I am all for Rafa. And he should never have left. They should have backed him. But when you've got a manager who belongs in the Championship, you're going to get dodgy results like this. And what I'm going to get tonight from Steve Bruce, it'll be, oh, well, Sheffield United, they are a good side. He bigs these sides up before the ball's even kicked. Oh, we're going to try. No, not try. We're going to get in their faces. We're going to have a go. We're going to show a good attitude. We're going to play for the badge, first and foremost. We're going to give the fans something to shout about. At least, if we do draw the game 0-0, but we've worked the goalkeeper and we've at least had a goal, then yeah, the fans can understand. But you look at all of the games gone by, there's been nothing to shout about. Honestly, it's been tiresome and boring to watch. It feels like I'm having to go at Sheffield United here. I'm only having to go at Sheffield United because they're bottom of the league and their fans know that. They know that they're not good enough and that they're probably going to go down. But who knows where that victory is going to go for them now. But for us, there's only one way we're going. And that's back to the Championship. Unless something happens very, very quickly. I tell you who I'll get in, right, for short-term replacement. Short-term replacement. Nigel Pearson. Nigel Pearson, right, will come in. I'll tell you what it is. He'd get all those buggers in that dressing room, right, and he'd speak to them. He'd speak his mind. He'd say, right, you pull your sleeves up, you pull your socks up, and you go and play. You play my way, or you're out the door. As simple as that. Because Nigel Pearson could get the best out of those buggers. Or if you're looking for a manager, bring in Eddie Howe now. Do something to get Eddie Howe in this football club. Because we need somebody who's going to inspire these footballers. Because there's no doubt we've got good players. There is no question. They can't turn bad overnight. It's the way Steve Bruce goes about the game. It's the formation. It's the attitude. It's the pre-match press conferences. The players are going to find out what he's saying. They're going to find out what he says after a game. And that can't motivate them. Do you know what I mean? And we're getting ripped the piss out now about like Sunderland fans and all these other fans because we're losing games and we've now lost to Sheffield. Fair play to Sheffield. I take nothing away from them. I seen it coming. I could see it coming a mile off. But the problem is there's no effort. There's no effort anywhere. It's just the club honestly stinks from top to bottom. It really does. And the only thing that keeps this club going is the passion of the fans. But now has to be the night that Steve Bruce finally resigns or the board get rid of him. They have to. They really do. If he gets to the Arsenal game, then I'm sorry to say we're losing every game until the end of the season because there's no way that we're going to get another victory now till the rest of the season. We'll probably end up getting relegated on 19 points. And if we do, we might finish on about 25 points if you're lucky. But that won't be enough to stay in this league. And that's not being over the top. It's for what I'm saying. We're too over-reliant on Callum Wilson. Over-reliant. And when we're playing 5 at the back, he's got no chance. Well, at least with a 2 up front, we've got a chance. 4-2-3-1, there's a chance. But at this moment in time, we've got no chance of scoring goals. Honestly, you look back at the previous 7 games or 8 games now. Not good enough. Even games gone by, not good enough. I mean, there's only been 2 games this season, right, that have actually been all right. And you could say 3. You could say the West Ham game away from home. Okay, we deserve to win. Burnley, good fight back, 3-1. A game we should be winning. Liverpool, 0-0. Could have went either way. But apart from that, I'm looking at our side and I think we're capable of so much more, but it's the manager and he comes out with, well, we tried. We're trying to get the 3 points. Not good enough. Not good enough for this level. And that's where he belongs, down in the Championship. And that's where we're heading. And I tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Steve Bruce on. And if we keep him on, there's only one way we're going, as mentioned. But listen, the only credit for me goes to the centre-backs and Carl Darlow. That's it. There's just nothing there. There was nothing there up front. Felt sorry for Callum Wilson. Felt sorry for... Yeah, that's the only person I sort of felt sorry for in terms of up front. The rest... Honestly, it's just an absolute load of bollocks, man, the way this club is run. It really is. And Steve Bruce has to go tonight. Steve Bruce needs to resign or the board need to sack him. And I don't care what it's going to come down to. Get it done. Get it done. We've got 21 games now to rectify this season in terms of, the short term of staying up and then maybe climbing up to the top 10. But right now, there's only one way we're going and that's down. It really is. So, full time from the Bramall Lane Stadium in Sheffield. Sheffield United 1, Newcastle United 0. Honestly, it's like ripping your eyeballs out watching Newcastle United. Absolute eyesore. I need to calm down. And I've come on for 20 minutes to rant, but who cares? Who cares? Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'm close to 3,500. I'm less than 15 away now, so if you could please subscribe to the channel. It would help us grow and move forward long term. And more rants like this. I don't want to rant, but I feel like tonight it was brewing up as this game approached. And there we go. Hit the like button. If you haven't already, put your comments down below about what I've had to say on Steve Bruce, the performance. the non-existent performance, as I like to say. But honestly, the clowns at the top just need to get rid of him. And I hope a takeover happens very, very soon as well. Otherwise, we're in deep, deep trouble. So, yeah, follow me on social media, Toonami TV, Instagram and Twitter. And I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe. How are the lads?